Welcome everybody to another episode of Latifs Inspired. Today I'm going to be showing you another building block to British Indian restaurant cooking. This is a staple. Chicken is the most favourite dish in England, and I'm going to be showing you the pre-cooked chicken. So if you're going up and down the country, Indian restaurant, whoever serves BIR style of dishes, everyone cooks their style of the pre-cooked chicken. So it's basically you cook the chicken beforehand, so it's already cooked. But just leave it a little bit undercooked and you're going to finish it off in the curry. And I'm going to be showing you all the tips and tricks to get to spot on level. So if you enjoy what I do, make sure to like, comment, because I love that interaction, and make sure to subscribe, press the bell icon so you'll be getting brand new videos straight to you and you'll be cooking these amazing dishes and wowing your friends and family. So let's crack on with this amazing pre-cooked chicken. So firstly, let's turn the gas on, Bismillah. Make sure it's high heat, heats up the pan. Sometimes if there's water and you add the oil, it's going to spit at you, which we're trying to avoid. But I know there's not any water there, I can see. So that's half a cup of vegetable oil. Use something neutral, sunflower oil, vegetable oil is perfectly fine to cook everything because you don't want any flavor in the chicken. You don't want anything to overpower. So now we add in 2 tezpata, which is the Bangladeshi Bayleaf. This is more fragrant, more aromatic, and it's got a lovely sweetness, brings out. Cinnamon stick, you can use 1 or 2 of these little sticks, which gives it that lovely sweetness and that pungent flavor. And the cardamom, very aromatic, and it brings out a sweet flavor. So they go in, and if you follow my recipes, you know these are the ones that I'm always using. So the chicken, when you're cooking the chicken, this just brings out a lovely aroma and as well as a bit of flavor. So if you don't use the Garam Masala, the whole spices, you're not going to get the end product to a perfect flavor. So when the oil is nice and hot, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of ginger and garlic. This is 1 cup of onions. So what we're trying to do is just take that rawness of that ginger and garlic and onion and just slightly make it nice and golden. We're not going to add any salt now because we want that fried flavor of the ginger and garlic and the onions. Firstly, when onions, ginger and garlic hits any fat, it just brings out an amazing fragrance, and the whole kitchen, just that aromatic flavors just comes out in the aroma. Beautiful. I'm a foodie, so I get excited, and that's where the passion comes out. And if you do it correctly, you're going to have the most amazing curries at home. And you're going to be wondering why you spend so much money on takeaways. Sorry for all the takeaways out there. Except my restaurant, the Latifs Inspired, all Sager. That's the best. You've got the Grand Masters cooking over there. So if you go and eat the curry there, you'll be like, wow. There you go. So let this just become nice and golden, and we're going to go to the next process. Right, when the ginger and garlic and the onion is caramelizing wonderfully, if you can see over here, that's beautiful. So what we're going to do now, we're going to reduce the gas to a very low, the lowest point, because we're going to add the spices, and I do not want the spices to burn. If it burns, it's going to have a bitter taste, ruin the whole dish. So if you cook something and if you say, how comes mine curries don't taste nice, it's because you're not doing these methods, these techniques right. So you're going to have to actually subscribe to this channel and we'll show you exactly what to do. Right, so this is, since we are cooking 1.5 kg of chicken, we're using chicken thighs, we're going to add, you can add 1 teaspoon of salt, however I'm just adding a little bit more, about 1.5 teaspoon of salt. So there you go. Actually I'm sticking to the 1 teaspoon, I think that's going to be too much. So 1 teaspoon of salt's gone in there, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, Beautiful. And I always use curry powder because it's got, you know, fennel. It's got all these amazing spices in there, rather than just going for your usual coriander and cumin. Do use curry powder. It is very flavorful. Now we're using 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, half a teaspoon of garam masala, which just releases a lovely aromatic flavor. It's wonderful. Give it a little stir, just literally about less than a minute. Perfect. Now we've got the Kashmiri chilies. So this is 1 teaspoon. Kashmiri chili is less spicy but more flavor. So we're adding 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder. There you go. Now for a bit of moisture, we're adding tomato puree, which is 2 tablespoons. This should calm it down. The temperature of the pan, that is. There you go. And we're going to drizzle about half a cup of water. This prevents the spices from burning. Wonderful. There you go. Now this process is called bhuna. So we're bhunering all the spices and all those aromatics together. Wonderful. So this will be about 5 minutes before the next process. Now we're going to put the gas up to a medium. So we're going to put the lid on and come back to it 3 to 5 minutes. Right, it's been about 3 to 5 minutes. Let's have a look. The onions, everything should be cooked, and the masala, spices should also be cooked. Wow, look at that. Well impressed. Look at that, it was amazing colour. Gorgeous. Oh yes, the oil has separated from the spices. That's when you know the bhuna process is cooked. Now we're going to have to add the chicken. So this is reduced down to a lowest heat, and let's get the chicken. So this is the chicken. Now make sure this is cut again by 2 inches by 2 inches is ideal, and I'm using chicken thigh. Chicken thigh is more flavorful, and we at home love the chicken thigh. Whereas when you go to most of the Indian restaurants up and down the country, they use chicken breast. Chicken breast doesn't have as much flavor as the chicken thigh. So this is 1.5 kg of chicken thigh. Carefully. That lovely red has come from those tomato puree and the Kashmiri chilies. The Kashmiri chilies, as I said to you, 1 teaspoon. You might think, oh, that's a bit spicy for a pre-cooked chicken, because we're going to add some spices for every other dish individually. However, this Kashmiri red chili brings out an amazing color, and the tomato puree is going to bring an amazing flavor. We'll put on a link on the description box how to make the tomato puree. And if you try your curries with that sort of tomato puree, you're going to be very happy chefs at home. So now we're going to put the gas to a high, and we just want the moisture to draw out from the chicken. So this should take about 8 to 10 minutes. There you go. That's all been nicely mixed. Get a lid. This generates the heat, creates a lovely little steam, and it should draw out all the moisture from the chicken. Right, so I've closed the lid. I haven't had a look at the chicken, but it should have released some liquid. Yep, I can see some simmering away. Yo, look at that. Here's one I made earlier. It's just worked to perfection. That was literally about 5 to 8 minutes. And I put it on a high heat. There you go. Wonderful. So this is near enough cooked, because what we do, we actually finish off the chicken in the BIR curries. So if you overcook the chicken, then all that flavor just comes out, and then you just get that dry sort of chicken. That's what we're trying to avoid. So now, some boiling water. I'll say about half a pint. All this does, it just keeps the chicken nice and soft. So we're going to cook this for a further 10 minutes or so. So that will be 15 minutes of cooking time for the chicken. Wonderful. The color looks amazing. Very fragrant and very aromatic. Now we just need the chicken to get cooked, and it's going to be left in this sauce. So when it's the pre-cooked chicken, when it's got that sauce, it keeps the chicken tender and moist, rather than if it was a boona, it dries out the chicken, which we do not want. We're trying to avoid. Now put the lid back on. In 10 minutes it should be ready. It's been about 10 to 12 minutes since I've added the water, so the chicken should be perfectly cooked now. Let's have a look at this. Oh wow. Always get excited when I just lift the lid and you hear that simmering sound and all that colours. Wonderful. Wow, the chicken is the ideal size. Look at that. 2 inch by 1.5 inch. Beautiful. So basically, big mouthful. However, you'll need to cut it with your knife. Cut it in half when you're having the curries. Then that just keeps the moisture in the chicken when you're cutting it. And if it's small pieces, and if you overcook it slightly, it can dry out. Whereas big pieces, it should be nice and moisture inside. Turn the gas off, guys. And I'm very happy with this. In fact, I'm going to cut a piece of chicken and just show you. So now, oh yes, that is how I want it. Look at that. It's still juicy. I hope my cameraman's getting this. Is this coming on? There you go. Look at that. That's still nice and juicy. This is ideal. So the color's wonderful. The texture of the chicken is wonderful. And now this is ready to make some amazing pre-cooked chicken curries, so British Indian restaurant curries at home. So if you follow these tips and tricks and secrets, you're going to have the most amazing dishes at home. And if you like what I do, make sure to actually press the like button and comment on the comment section. I love that interaction and I love the feedback as well. And make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon. You'll be getting the brand new videos straight to you. And if you enjoyed this, see you soon for the next one.